Boom squad in the house. I lower the boom when I do the cipher dash. But that's just Aggie Patch as I bring master blast. I take puffs on stuff, rough enough to give a buzz to my guns, even though we don't touch the stuff. See this blunt in my front, some say my stink. But yo, the skunk helps me think, helps me think, helps me. I'm a boom smoker joker with the knack because I'm gifted. Some say misfit, but fuck it, let's get lifted. I get a box of 50, get 50 with a split G. And take on new jacks who tried to diss me. I've walked through the rain for doms at the cesspool.
Hey everyone, this is Pandar, wishing you a happy Friday. Today we have with us myself, Nuke, and Folk. Folk, how you feeling today?
Good. I feel pretty good. What is today? It's a day. Anyway, I don't know. I feel pretty good. Started my day with some delicious oatmeal with fruit and yogurt in it. I recommend that to anybody who's looking for a good start to your day. It gives you lots of energy. Pairs perfectly with a cup of coffee afterwards. So you get your energy from your oats and your fruit. And you get your immediate rush of energy from your coffee. And then to pair with that, I've got my collagen peptides. Got to keep my hair healthy, my skin healthy, my nails healthy. Nuke, how you doing today? You look concerned.
I ain't concerned. I'm just weirded out. I'm
What?
just, I'm just kidding,
By
man.
health?
Collagen
Yes,
peptides are fantastic for
yes.
you.
I don't know nothing about health, bro. Like they skipped that class when I went through school. Actually, that's a lie. It was just all about sex when I went through school.
Yeah, with sex ed.
Yeah, fucking crazy. But I'm doing all right, man. I got a doctor's appointment today. Maybe get lined up for a sleep study because I ain't sleeping worth a crap, and I stopped breathing at night. So
Oh, you gonna come back mechanical man every time you sleep. They're gonna have one of them machines strapped to you.
I know it. It's gonna be so fucking annoying.
But if it helps you
Nuke,
sleep,
I am your
then
father.
it's
I'm
the
not
Luke.
Nuke. I'm
Nuke.
Doug Dimmadome, owner of the
Nuke, I
Dims
am
Doug
your
Dimmadome.
father.
I definitely said Luke, but
I mean, you're the bipolar Nuke in this context. This is not Discord.
it's a fact under your face.
But how's everybody doing, man? Amanda, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's another week. We've got a guest coming to visit us this week, and it's pretty exciting because we haven't seen them in a minute. Uh-oh.
Yo, my shit bugged, and then it just wilded out. Oh, it's gonna do it again. That's cool. Every time I open or minimize Camera Hub, it bugs out.
Yes.
Sorry to distract you, Pandar. Please continue.
Science.
Perfect.
Well,
All
we're
right.
going to start by the bongs ready for you, and I know Nuke had something he wanted to talk about.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I saw this thing online earlier about quantum mechanics, and it was a little TED talk. And basically, this dude built a little chip, probably about, I don't know, it was little. I don't know the size of it. They zoomed in on it. But basically, they found out when they removed the light, they removed the air, putting it in a vacuum, and lowered it down to like right above absolute zero. And they found that the chip was vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
But then they found that if they would tap it, they could stop it or make it vibrate again. But
Okay.
then they also found out that the atoms within that were in two separate states at the same time. One was the vibrating, the other was just complete stillness.
Okay.
And I thought that was pretty fucking cool because he brought up about being in two different places at once, if it would be possible for humans to do that, and how the consciousness would even work.
Yeah.
Our consciousness would even work if we were in two places at once. So I thought
Yeah.
that shit was pretty cool. Do y'all have any thoughts on it or anything like that?
No, I mean,
I don't want the possibility to be in two places at once because my kids already think I can be. So no,
I
no,
think
no.
it's more borderlining the possibilities of things like teleportation and like what that would mean or what effect that would have on the human body.
Wonka vision.
What's going to happen is exactly what happened in Willy Wonka or in any other sci-fi movie where they develop teleportation for the first time and the human goes through it and they come outside some like either something else or they just die altogether. I definitely think that's what's going to happen at first. 'Cause
Oh
we don't know
yeah,
what the
no
fuck
doubt.
we're doing.
No doubt.
So what they're going to do is they're going to try and teleport mice, which is
Yeah.
fucked up, and then they're
Yeah.
going to kill a whole bunch of mice. And then they'll figure it out, and then they'll start teleporting humans, and then 100 years will go by, and we'll realize it causes cancer, and then a whole campaign will be out against teleporting, and history will repeat itself yet again because
What if
humans
it
are
could?
good.
What if it could be used to like cure cancer? They could teleport the cancer out of the body.
If they don't fuck up and takes other stuff with it,
That's
sure.
true. But wouldn't it be cool though?
It would be cool if they
But
could perform surgery
hold on.
without having to cut you open. That would be very neat. Yes.
I'm gonna bring us back to a clip we made recently titled "Humanity in a Nutshell."
No.
Because
No,
that's
people can go watch
this.
that.
But
I
that's
know
what I'm
people can go
saying.
watch that on TikTok. It
Yeah,
is.
go
It
watch
is
it on
essentially
TikTok. You
this.
know what we're talking about. But yeah, humanity in a nutshell.
Yeah, and everybody that kept muting us on Squishy's stream the other day, fuck y'all.
Yeah,
We were trying to
facts.
promote a fucking video, so fuck y'all.
And we're
But we
part
still
of the
love the
crew.
stream, Squishy.
Yeah,
mean,
we still
yeah.
like you, Squishy. You're
Squishy,
all
you're
right.
cool.
It's just your moderators.
Yeah.
They're
We
You're
were
a
turds.
not,
power
and
trip.
and to clarify, we were not promoting Diddy. We just made a funny,
And it actually is about not
and it's
being a
pretty
Diddy.
funny. Correct. Yes. No one gave us the opportunity to actually
also-
voice that, but
Exactly,
are.
because
I'm a
it's not
woman.
all right to be a little Diddy.
Facts.
correct. It even says "Don't be a Diddy" at the fucking end.
That's why I purposely made the like thumbnail say "Don't be," like the ending screenshot of "Don't be a Diddy."
Right.
And also, I'm a female, and y'all called me a dude a couple times.
Who?
People on that chat, they're like, "Look at this dude. Look at this dude thinking
Listen,
he can
they're
say."
Look,
projecting.
I grew up in the '90s, and I don't know if you ever saw
No.
Keenan and
They
Kel.
didn't say
but-
actually dude. They just kept saying actual masculine pronouns. He, him.
It's
I replace it with dude because that's how
it's
my brain works
projecting.
as well.
It's because they themselves are male, so they just
Yeah.
assumed it's some dude trolling, and it's nothing against you. I wish the world would understand that. When a guy walks in and goes, "What's up?" Like, "What up, y'all? What up, bros?" Like, or "Hey guys." Hey guys doesn't mean men. It means
Yeah.
anyone who's in this room.
Hola, mis amigos.
But to be
What'd you
fair,
say?
it doesn't hurt to say,
I mean,
"Hey,
I said
ladies and
hello, my
gentlemen."
friends, but
No, I don't.
in
speak
in
French.
Spanish,
Um,
when you say amigos, it is a masculine. It takes on the masculine form of the word, but it includes both males and females in the room.
okay. I thought you were speaking Hungarian or something.
Bro, you can't even make up your mind which language I was speaking.
German?
9,
10,
8, 7.
6'5".
Your mom.
Anyway,
Yep.
I love the German language. I love the Spanish language. We don't speak them fluently.
No.
I know lots of curse words.
I can
in
multiple
German,
choice answer.
but that doesn't normally help.
Like, give
I
me
can
some
say, "Can I go
options.
to the bathroom?" in French. That's it.
Oui.
So if you ever need to go
Where
potty
oui,
in
oui?
France,
No, est-ce que je peux aller aux toilettes?
Why?
Mm.
That was like so much mouth breath for "Can I pee?"
You know they don't even call bathrooms bathrooms. They call them
you know,
water
when you
closets.
ask, they're just gonna point to the fucking canal and be like, "Go."
The sea.
The fish need some pee. R.
Yeah, they had
Kelly
people
and those
swimming in
fucking
that
fish.
shit, bro. I would not have been one of them.
Did you see the Olympics where like people were swimming in like they did some swimming shit
And they got sick.
and they all were like coming out of the river puking and vomiting because they were getting sick by shit in the fucking water there.
Yeah, because it had human
Yeah.
waste in it.
Yeah.
So we're not
God
gonna
damn.
listen.
You probably
US
felt
has
like
its
Joe Dirt.
problems. The US has its problems.
But the French is
Eu-
dirty.
Europe's got its own issues.
That's why they demo more too.
Fucking
Dirty.
I saw a fucking a
this
thing
stinky
the other
cheese.
day that said the
Oh.
French national flag and it had a white flag, and I love that.
Surrender.
It's funny how much we shit talk the French when we do have a giant statue that they gave to us.
That
Right,
we
And
all
we
love.
still we still appreciate it.
Now hold
So-
up. I give the French a bunch of shit, but they know how to do a fucking revolution, yo.
Fair.
They know how to
What?
cook a potato.
Or how to
too.
tell workers to fuck off when they're like, nah, you gotta go back to work. Y'all need to work more hours. They're like, fuck y'all, we're rioting.
Yeah.
That's
bro.
what we need to do.
I
Keep
know.
remote work. Fuck return to office shit. Riot. But I'm not
Oh, we're
promoting that.
rioting. But I don't promote it. No.
I don't
think
condone this behavior, but I respect it highly.
I think some remote is okay, but I think we need to fucking at least every once in a while, like say, hey.
Do we
That's
now?
just me. I don't mind remote work,
Oh, yeah.
but like every now and then, just stop in and say, hey.
So actually,
I think it
that's what we
depends on the
used to
person. Like, if
do.
somebody can't because they're just somewhere else, then it is what it is. Like, if
That's
your
true.
business is doing well enough and they have offices in multiple locations, yeah, dude, swinging through the office can be great. It can help
Yeah.
build and foster relationships. Brainstorming in person is a lot easier. But I will say that remote work, it's just nicer when you can fucking get up and walk to your own fridge or use your own personal bathroom or
just
hell, like
give your
take
kids a
care of
hug.
things around the house that you've got to do. And everyone
Yeah.
in the office gets up and walks around.
Right.
So if you get up and walk around your house and you pick up a thing here or there, it's making your life easier at the end of the day.
That's true.
I just don't think forcing people is okay.
No,
Like,
but
if
even
you're like, here's a shared space that you can come collaborate with and see each other if you want to, there are people that will opt to do that
Yeah.
because they like the social interaction and being in person. That's fair. But
Yeah.
people can also work just as hard remotely and say, I'm good with that shit. Like, I've got my own things to worry about. I run in my own circles, whatever. That should be a viable option.
Yeah.
but,
Depending on what you're doing.
but even when
Yeah, I mean, if you're like a crane operator, you can't work. I mean, not yet, but you can't work remotely yet. They may automate cranes to the point where it's like a drone, and then you're just that would be terrifying though, because being off site and moving things that are as heavy as that is, like you got to be able to see your people. Like if something's going wrong, they're telling you something is wrong. Like you need to immediately stop. Like
Yeah.
cranes, a little adjustment can kill someone.
Absolutely. And dude,
So-
I've seen some whoop ass cranes. Like
Yeah.
the ones I know they ain't got nothing on like New York City cranes and stuff building them fucking big
Skyscraper.
ass skyscrapers. But like the ones at the shipyard. The
I'm
ones at
listening.
the shipyard are
Uh-huh.
fucking massive, bro.
Yep.
They're on railroad tracks. Dude, they are huge.
But they are anal retentive as fuck. Like when it comes to crane operators, you get drug tested regularly.
Yeah.
Anything unfortunate occurs, you get drug tested.
Yep.
Even if like they need better testing for cannabis because in my opinion, I think it's a great alternative for people who don't want to drink heavily, for people who don't want to do other things, but
Mhm.
are just looking for something to help them unwind a little bit.
Right.
I think it's fair.
I mean, alcohol can be just as dangerous.
Yeah, The only difference is they can be like, "Oh, you drank last night, but you were sober coming in, so there's no issue." And they can't.
I smoked last night. I'm sober coming in. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, but the difference is the testing, right? When the testing says, "Nope, your ABV is this,"
Yeah.
and they go, "Nope, or your blood content THC level, even if it's like dormant or inactive because they don't know how to properly measure it," then you're fucked, which
Yeah.
is wrong. In my
Yeah.
opinion, that's just wrong. Like,
I mean, just legalize all drugs.
that's a hard one. That's a hard one to sell.
Like, fuck it, yo.
It's a
Right.
hard one to sell. It really is.
Yeah.
Because there are drugs that you can do and you can lead a perfectly normal life. There's even people who can lead a relatively normal life on crazy shit. But
That's true.
typically it catches up with them at one point or another. And when it does, it results in not showing up anymore. Like, kind of just like bailing on all of your responsibilities in society, whatever they may be. And I think that's where it becomes a real issue, right?
Right.
It's not that if people could just do a little coke or whatever on a weekend and stop and go to work and do their job and do everything they need to do, it wouldn't be an issue. But they
Right.
can't. They're like, "No, I got to keep going." So then they binge for a whole week, call out of work. Then they end up getting fired and their whole life starts unraveling, right? Like,
But that sounds
often.
like a human choice.
Well, it is, but it's a human choice influenced by addiction.
Right.
So
Right.
the real issue is addiction, but how do you deal with addiction? Like, that's because it's also different for every single person. Some people
Absolutely.
can put shit down and go, "I'm good." Some people can't. It just keeps nagging at them and won't let it go. And they slip up once and they lose their fucking job. Next thing they know, they've dropped all the money in their bank account, can't pay their rent, whatever their responsibilities in society are, start falling apart.
And I
And
get
that's
that. I guess I'm a little harder on people because I look at it as you make your own fucking choices. And if you really don't want to do it, you won't.
that is true to a degree. But do you really want, I don't know. I guess a world where a bunch of strung out people walking around the streets is just not what I want. And
I want a
like, it's
world.
already bad enough in Virginia Beach. Like, if you go to Virginia Beach, they have a horrible problem with heroin addicts and meth heads. And then these people literally just walk up and down the streets, fucking beating on their chests, laying fucking unconscious. Like, it's not pretty. And like,
I
do you really want to be walking at the fucking ocean front and your kids just like, "What's wrong with that guy?" And you're like, "Well, he made bad choices." But dude, he's over here like, there's other drugs that make people peel their skin off and shit. Like, it's weird. So
yeah.
I don't necessarily think like that's what makes it hard. Because in an
Yeah.
ideal world, you're not wrong, right? Individuals should be able to make choices for themselves, and you are a result of all your various choices.
I mean,
Right.
and that was kind of what we saw when I believe it was Oregon or Washington, one of the two states legalized or
Oregon.
decriminalized the use of meth and heroin and other
Mhm.
things like that. And there were
Small
already,
amounts, though.
and well, they also, when they decriminalized it, said that it was only supposed to be used in your home. That was one of the regulations, but
Hmm.
they're already working on, I'm pretty sure, I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure I read an article saying that they're already working on how to recriminalize it because this, how
It's
much that
just
it was
gone
all over
haywire.
the streets. There's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
drug streets that people refuse to walk down because there's so many needles in the fucking road. Like,
Well, it's like that in Seattle as well. There's like a whole section of a town that's blocked off with tents and everything in the middle of the road. They've like took over this whole section of town and just done what they've wanted to.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you said Virginia Beach. I never saw any fucking crackheads or meth heads or whatever. Oh, well,
so if
that's a
you're at
lie.
the
I knew.
actual ocean front, the
Mhm.
police regulate it nonstop. They won't
Yeah.
let people like that
2
walk around
streets
there.
over?
You go 2 streets up where the actual trailer parks and bad areas
Yeah.
are, and you start seeing all types of shit.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, I can
it's
see that.
literally around the corner, and if you watch any Virginia Beach resident, when it gets nighttime, they leave. They don't stick around, man,
I
they just
grew up
leave because like, the activity down there is bad.
I grew up in the trailer
That's
park
crazy.
on Bird Neck and Virginia Beach Boulevard.
Oh, Bird Neck. Yeah. I
It
can
was
see that
bad.
at Bird Neck. I would
There
So
when
you
I
could
think
literally walk to the ocean front or ride a bicycle from where she lived.
yeah, like I
I did
don't.
it.
I think of Virginia Beach like the actual strip. Like I don't think about all the outlying
Sometimes
places.
it's fine, but I remember multiple times whenever it was some like Greek week or Greek Fest week or something. It was when like colleges were like celebrating. It was like that whole thing, but it would always turn into like we
The
as
Neptune
residents.
Festival stuff?
No, it was
Okay,
something, I think it was called Greek Fest, but it was like
okay.
something for colleges to come celebrate down at the oceanfront. And as a resident, we would not go to the oceanfront at that time. That whole week,
Yeah.
we wouldn't go. The amount of fights that break out, like it's insane.
Yeah.
And not gonna lie, it's not the best place to even go drink is on the oceanfront at night. Like there's shit ton
Oh
of
my
bars,
god.
but the cops sit out there and wait for you to leave the bar and get you with public intoxication.
Yeah, like, not
Like
even a
on your way
DUI, they will
to
arrest you in the parking
get in a
lot.
cab, on the way to get in a friend's car, they're
Yeah,
waiting.
they've been known to do it, like, we grew up there, and maybe, hopefully, I'll knock on wood, the cops aren't as dickheadish as they used to be, but they literally would camp outside of a bar and just wait.
Wait for you. And it's
And
like
a dude who made a choice to walk home, like,
entrapment.
down the street is now getting arrested for public intoxication, even though he made actually a pretty good choice, right? Like, he didn't get behind the wheel of his car. He didn't endanger people's lives. He said, "No, I'm just gonna walk home right over here." And
No,
it's
I'm
up
a
to the cops' discretion on really, they could let you slide. They
yeah.
could, but most of them are just trying to fill a quota, so they don't.
Yeah.
And that sucks because it really fucks up people's lives when they get arrested for shit like that.
Man, can we
Yep.
please talk about who expects anyone to do 55? That's another entrapment. It's just the speed limit on
Yeah,
fucking 264.
4-lane highway or whatever, both ways,
Like, are
and
you
they're
kidding
pulling
me?
people the speed limit's 55. Yeah, that's funny.
I'm just saying.
But I think I'm gonna throw in something. Anybody who is going through anything hard in their life, just remember, keep persevering, and eventually, whatever your goals are, whatever your desires are, will come to fruition. You just got to keep pushing through the bullshit, and it
Ooh,
will happen.
what's that one quote? The one quote you gave this morning.
Which one?
Hold on. I know which exactly one I want. Let me get to it. Okay. Okay. There we go. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. And that is a quote from Thomas Edison. And that's the one that, like, when you were reading these inspirational quotes this morning, because
Mhm.
that's kind of what we do in our bathroom talk when we wake up. Kevin gets his bath. I sit there, we get our coffee, and we just go through the news, bitch about the world, and motivate each other. And that was one of the ones that I liked.
I mean, he was a man who failed many times.
Yeah. And look at it. Look at him
Most
now. Everyone knows his
most
name.
very successful people, inventors and people who make it big in business, they do fail a lot.
Yeah.
They do. But it's all about picking yourself back up and giving it another shot.
And once Nuke gets back, I have a subject that I'd like to bring up.
Ooh, I'm excited.
It's something that we talked about recently in our bathroom talk. We're going to have a segment called Bathroom Talks and be like, what did Amanda and Kevin talk about in the bathroom this morning?
I mean, that would be funny.
It would.
That would be a
'cause
funny segment.
sometimes it's
You know what
good
would be funnier though is if the segment was actually a clip
of
and
you
I'm
in the
just sitting
tub.
in the bathtub and you're sitting there on your next to me. That would be
Make me a
funny.
pillow fortress so that I'm super comfy, so we can spend time. That's our morning, like us time. The kids aren't awake. It's just us. It's the most peaceful moment of the night because even when we lay them down, they still get up. So yeah, that
And
sounds
I'm
bad.
way more philosophical in the bathtub. I don't know what it is. You put me in water and I get way more
Your gills
philosophical.
philosophically.
Close.
I'm getting there.
Close.
I'm getting there. But yeah, Nuke disappeared. We have no idea why, but I'm sure he will be back in a moment.
I'm gonna smoke.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Maybe.
bong is twirled for you.
I may have already hit that.
Maybe. I don't know. I was gonna say you and Nuke were talking. That's something I was gonna say before I had to use the restroom a minute ago. Was when you were a remote employee, we actually did make it a point to go into the office, even though we lived 4 states away. We
Yeah.
would always make it a point to stop in and say hi, even if like the company didn't require it or anything. We just felt it was nice to be able to meet some of your colleagues in person so that it wasn't
Yeah.
just we know each other on a screen.
Right. There is something about the human interaction that you lose in remote work. And it is nice to have the option to go into the office and meet up with people, say hi, bring your kids in, all these various things. It is a good opportunity. I just don't think forcing people who could work remotely
Oh, of
to
course.
do a job in a chair and be uncomfortable is the right way to go about things in order to justify where your money is going. The
Or,
byproduct of those individuals should speak volumes in of itself.
right, if they're doing the maintained required task, that's all that matters. Whether they do it first thing in the morning and as long as they're attending meetings, it really should kind of be like our children's school, K-12.
College. It's like college. These are your responsibilities. This is what you need to do,
Just
right?
do
And if you
them.
get your responsibilities done, then you can
If
move on to the rest of
It's
your day.
crazy because honestly, if work would move into that type of mindset, then the article I read today about how daycare costs are actually higher than college tuition in about 38 states. Those people wouldn't, their world would be changed if they had opportunities to be able to work at home, to have their kids in a school at home, the same way that we've got things set up a bit. And it really does give you the freedom to still have a life. You're not a slave to society in the same sense. Like you actually just have more free will with those notions.
So the downside to that, like you're 100% right. But I think the main issue with families that are paying for childcare is that oftentimes both parents are working and in typically like the vast majority of use cases, both parents don't necessarily work in a technological field, right? They don't work in a job where technology makes it so that you can be remote and still facilitate the same level of delivery, right? Like you can still make your deadlines, you can still reach your goals and your deliverables, but rather people who work for Amazon, who are drivers, who are people who work in the factory, right?
Well, yeah,
Those can't be remote,
true.
unfortunately. And I do think the opportunity to become an engineer in a software sense should be given to more people. There's a lot of jobs that say require a bachelor's degree, require X number of years experience. But anyone who wants that life, just code on the side, do things for yourself, make tools that will help you. And then when an entry level job comes across your plate that says requires so much experience or a bachelor's degree, that time you put into coding for yourself, that time you put into building little tools to help you, that counts.
Yeah.
That's experience. And you take that code you've written, you go and you show up with it. And you're honest with the people, you get through the coding interview, and if they like you, if they think you can do the job and you're personable and you make a good fit for the team, you might be able to nail that six-figure job that requires a degree, but in reality it does not. And I can tell you that from firsthand experience.
So Nuke, while
Fuck
you were
jobs.
gone, we were keeping things going.
Fair.
But I do have a topic I wanted to bring up.
Uh-oh.
The tariffs.
Okay, so I saw a really funny picture. And it was a picture, it was one of those political cartoon pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and it was about the tariffs, right? And this one was specifically about the tariffs with Canada, but this is true for all tariffs. It was President Trump, like an exaggerated President Trump, pissing, right? And there was a fan blowing the opposite way, so the piss was blowing back in his face. That was the political cartoon. But
Yeah.
in reality, that is what ultimately happens with tariffs. You apply them, and in order to recoup the cost that these people are paying in excess, costs rise. And the byproduct is consumers end up paying for that difference. So
You're
like
right.
at the end of the day, it's not, in my opinion, it's not really making the same point that should be made. What, like when they're trying to make these points and play these games, I think a lot of people just forget, like, oh, okay, they're putting tariffs on them because of this and this and this. But at the end of the day, that just means the cost of any of these goods coming from this place are more expensive to us.
Well,
And as a result, it may hurt them because less of us buy it. But at the end of the
And
day, we pay the difference.
and I can see that. I really can. Cause I mean, this world's fucked up. It's gonna happen that way, and I agree, things are gonna rise. That is why they are using other things, like with Doge. I know you guys don't like Doge too much, but like with Doge, they're finding extra money. They're
Well,
cutting
it's not
out.
that I don't like it. It's that it's a very it's something that a humanitarian wouldn't do. It's not that it's wrong or that they're incorrect, but there are a lot of workers who now are fucked because they're not going to get a job in somewhere else because a lot of other places are downsizing, and you've got
But
state governments replicating this process.
and I get that, but let's get down to it. We're spending money where we don't need to.
Yeah.
There are jobs out there that are created for nonsense. And not
I've
too
seen it
long
firsthand.
ago, yeah, like not too long ago, we had a discussion about that, about how, like, when there's nothing to do, they downsize.
Business, yep. Yeah. And
They're,
the federal government in a capitalist society is a business.
yeah. And that's what's happening. And everybody's looking at it like, oh shit, like it's so bad. But your company would do that anyway in a heartbeat. You don't matter to these people.
I mean,
Well,
that's a fact. But
And
that,
even then, like, it
but that
comes
might be the
down
problem.
to if your job is useless, it needs to be gone anyway.
Fair.
I can
But
honestly
couldn't
see
you
both sides.
repurpose those people? Like there is lots of
No,
work to be done.
absolutely. Absolutely, you
In
could.
a federal government sense, why not repurpose
If your
those
whole
people
point
if
is
you
for the
can?
people, why are we against the people?
Yeah,
See,
I
you're
think
not
right. I
gonna
think
make everybody happy.
no, but I
Period.
do think the issue in a lot of how Americans feel today and a lot of the way the country is moving, there's a big divide, right?
Yeah.
Between
Absolutely.
the businesses, the people who are very business oriented that really ultimately care about revenue, profit, money related things. And
Right.
then people who just want to live, they want to be able to wake up, have a place to go to contribute, and then at the end of the day go home and be able to have that house from the 1960s, right? Just a regular fucking nice little house, 1 to 2 cars, and you've got one parent working and the other one's able to spend time with their children, spend time doing things, and that's kind of died because of business. Business said, "Oh, cool, after World War II, women getting in the workforce, now we've got like double the workforce. We don't have to pay them the same." So now they pretty much cut the cost of payments to each of the workers. Now there's more workers and they pay each one individually less. And
Yeah.
society kept growing off of that. And now we're in a state where you can't afford childcare because it's too fucking expensive,
Can't
but
afford a
parents
house.
can't
You can't
afford to.
afford college. You can't afford shit. And now,
Right.
I mean, the
And
tariffs
it's,
make our day-to-day purchases
but all
more
that was
stressful.
driven by business. All of it. All of it. And yes, we are capitalist. Go ahead, TJ.
Keep going. Keep going. I gotta
Oh,
look something up. Sorry.
so all I was saying is I just think we need to find a balance. Like we've tipped the scales one way and people are starting to get fed up with it, right? I mean, I think that's what we're seeing
Well, and not
is
to mention,
because businesses, including the federal government, state governments, etc., don't really give a shit about humans. They give a shit about money. Humans are feeling that and they
Yeah.
don't like it. And I think there is a way to have a balance between being or running a business and still being a humanitarian at the end of the day. Because every person working for that business contributes to the success of that business. If that person isn't doing something, they could be. There's tons of shit to do. There always is. So
Right.
instead of just calling one person useless because their job used to be something and then just getting rid of them, maybe
find a better
repurpose them,
purpose.
put them somewhere, make them valuable again. They people want to contribute. They do.
Well, the
So
problem is, like, I think with the tariffs, is every action has a consequence, whether that be good or bad. And
an
right
equal and
now,
opposite reaction.
and right
That
now,
is.
like,
Mhm.
Canada is retaliating with threats of their own tariffs
I thought they
and
already backtracked on the Mexico and Canada tariffs.
So
for
they did.
food. I think it's
Well,
only for food because right
they
here it says
backtracked it
steel
first,
and
but
aluminum.
because when I haven't heard any more about the Mexico tariffs, but I do know that the reason why he paused it at first was because Mexico had started like doing what they were supposed to. Like they were taking their illegal immigrants back. They were sending troops to the border to help out, like
Mhm.
10,000 troops. But here's the thing, Canada already tariffs us. It might not be a whole hell of a lot, but it's more than 25%. We're putting a 25% tariff on them to make them pay what is owed to us. We can't let people take advantage of us because if we let them take advantage, then eventually we become nothing. We
Yeah,
have to
I
stand
mean,
up for ourselves at some point. Just like I don't want to change the subject or even sound remotely like I'm backing the guy. But if you, like with Putin, he said enough is enough because NATO is trying to encroach or whatever on our land, and it's time to fight back because there was a treaty before that stated that NATO would not move 1 inch away or further east than what it was. And that has happened twice before when Russia didn't have really any foot to stand on. But now that Russia is a little bit better than what it used to be financially and like government wise, I know that it's still like a dictatorship and it's awful. but they have more of a foot to stand on, and they're saying no, no more. I'm not saying Putin is right.
But what did that have to? Because didn't Ukraine only try to join NATO when Russia was like, "Hey, fuck you guys,"
We want this
No,
and
land
then they
back.
tried to get into
no,
NATO, and NATO said no. They
no.
originally they definitely tried to join NATO, and NATO
They
said
did.
no.
Right. They were trying to join NATO, but Russia then invaded them after that. That is what
Right.
caused them to do that. Was the was
I think
the
they. I
they
thought
weren't already in there. Mm-mm.
they were already talks of war about
Might have
how
been
that
talks.
land was Russia's land.
Hmm.
And then Ukraine was seeking protection and tried to join NATO, which may have exacerbated things.
Hmm.
But NATO said no to their because they didn't actually meet the qualifications. There was some thing that they didn't meet or something.
Yeah.
So they weren't allowed to join NATO. So I'm
Right.
not sure what NATO has to do with this, I guess, is what does NATO
There.
have to do with Ukraine and Russia saying, fuck you guys, we want that land back.
Well, see, and
I mean,
that's not what I'm saying at all. It's the fact that they tried. And I get there might be other things, just like there was other things when Bush went to war with Iraq. It was other things in mind. He had to finish what his dad was doing. But Putin, because Zelensky stood up and was like, I want to join NATO, he was like, bullshit, you are. Even if
yeah, but
NATO
NATO
said
said
no,
no.
yet NATO might have said no, but that didn't stop Zelensky from still doing what he's doing, which is trying to join NATO. Zelensky's not even like
But is
there's
Ukraine Russia?
I don't know. I'm not Russian, I'm
If
not
another
Ukrainian.
country wants to join NATO, that's totally up to them.
Not if
And
there's a
Russia can
treaty.
fuck off.
Not if there's a treaty. If there was a treaty signed, you should not go against any treaty no matter what. Like if you nuke somebody, that's different. Go against fucking treaty, like fuck them.
But because of one unhappy bully, you're gonna literally tell a free country to eat a
They're not
dick.
free.
Like that
They're not
doesn't
free.
that what I'm saying is they are free to make their own choices. They're not under Russia rule.
They're not
They're
under Russia
free to do
rule.
whatever the fuck they want to. It's their country. Like that's the way I feel about it. Like just because Putin doesn't fucking like it, whoop-de-doo.
Well, I would just say I'd be the
Ukraine
same
isn't
way.
his, so
I,
he can not like it all he wants to.
right? Anybody cannot like anything. I mean, everybody's got their freedom to think however they want to and
Yeah.
disagree with whatever they want
But
to.
not all across the world. They should, but they're not given
Well,
those
we need to tell that to Palestine and Israel.
Facts.
We need to tell that to China and Taiwan. We
Yep.
need to tell that to
And Russia.
everybody.
That's
It's
what
Yeah,
all
we're
of
and
them.
Russia.
Yeah.
But
I would
all of
say the
those
same
other
thing.
things.
My correspondence to the whole Taiwan China thing is
Well,
Taiwan's their own country. Fuck off.
yeah. And like it
I mean, so I do say the same
all of
thing.
those
Right.
other things have been pushed under the rug. You haven't heard about them, but you hear about Russia because it involves Trump. And I'm tired. Like, I don't like Trump. I don't like him. But I can agree with some of the things that he says.
I mean,
Not all.
it's a hard place to be because trying to calm a dictator down when they literally in the place they live, they're like God.
Yeah.
People oppose them, they fucking disappear. They
Yeah.
don't like somebody, they're fucking in jail forever. Like it doesn't matter. They're essentially the equivalent of like a god in their own little space. So trying to like not trigger these people to amass a fucking army because they're not alone. They're not the only dictatorship, right?
Right.
And we don't see eye to eye necessarily with dictatorships, but we have to still navigate this political playground.
Right.
And as a result, we can't piss them off to the point where they start amassing fucking nuclear weapons and then just push a button and they're just tired of everybody because no one sees it their way and life's unfair and
Yeah.
but everywhere they live, everyone worships them. So
Right.
like there's this big divide between where they live and the outside world. And even
Right.
in the propaganda they spew to their people. And it's like it's a hard fucking terrain to navigate as a president. I don't think he likes Putin. I don't think he's in bed with Putin. I think he wants to avoid going to fucking war with China and Russia while he's a president. That's what
Well,
I think he's trying to do.
and even on top of that, like, I'd want to avoid going to war with Russia because them motherfuckers are crazy. Russians are a weird group of people, and they are very aggressive.
I mean, they grow up in one of the coldest regions that people live.
And they survive
That's
on
true.
the vodka.
So
The
it's
vodka.
but they're also spewed propaganda their whole lives, and the way
Yeah.
their society runs is different. So most Russians are very chauvinistic to American standards, like male Russians and female ones. Like you've got Russian mail order brides and all this other shit.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a different world than the one Americans know.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, to a degree, things are harsher there. It depends on where you live in Russia. There's people that fucking try and live in like Siberia, and that's like really fucking cold. Like, and then like whatever that part is that Siberia? What's the part of Russia that sticks out that's like no one lives there? Because the vast majority of the people all live closer to like the capitals and stuff. But there's a whole lot more Russia that is like no one lives there because you would freeze to death and food is very
Mm.
scarce. But I think there are a few people that live out there. I don't know if they're alive or not, but those people,
Well,
yeah,
if they
they're fucking
live out
wilderness
there,
experts.
if they
Like,
live out there, they have to be alive.
I don't know if they're still alive, I guess is what I'm saying, because
Then they
you
wouldn't
can't
be
check in.
living.
You can't check in with them. So
Schrodinger's cat.
bingo. Yes, they're both alive and dead until you you can confirm. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, people live out there, and if you live in that harsh of an environment, no one wants to fuck with you. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
just look
true.
at Alaskan State Police. Go watch that TV show. That's fucking hilarious. The cops, when they're approaching the houses of people who are like wilderness experts, they're holding their arms up, like yelling out, "I'm not a threat. Don't shoot me.
Yeah.
I'm just here to check on you and make sure you're okay." Like, I think that's how cops should always act. I think they should
Me too.
always be like, "Oh shit, I might get shot just kicking in someone's fucking door."
Yep.
Like, maybe people need to have a little bit of respect back. Um,
Your
and they
badge
get it.
isn't a crown.
Yeah, exactly. No, your badge is a sign that you're supposed to be an upstanding member of society and that you're there to help people and you will step up and protect somebody if need be. That's
Right.
really what the badge has always meant.
Yes.
So I did some
But
research on the Russia, Ukraine, and stuff. So Ukraine has expressed wanting to join NATO since the early 1990s when they first gained independence from the Soviet Union. There is not a treaty that explicitly prohibits Ukraine from joining NATO. However, there have been agreements and diplomatic understandings that Russia has interpreted as reasons why Ukraine should not be allowed to join.
Okay. Okay.
It's verbal agreements, no treaties. And then the quick like key movements. The president pretty much right after they got their independence announced their goal to seek NATO membership. That was around 2002. And then the next president formally requested a key step like membership plan. NATO declined, but issued a statement promising that Ukraine and Georgia would eventually become NATO members. The following president abandoned the NATO aspirations and signed a law declaring Ukraine's non aligned status. And then 2014 is when Russia invaded Crimea. Crimea, I don't know how to say it correctly.
They've been at war for a while though.
Yes, and the reasons being that Putin doesn't want NATO expanding. He views it as a threat to Russian security.
That's just an excuse to fight people and take their land.
He wants a buffer zone.
If he wanted
It's
to,
just
he'd
a
have done it
want.
longer, like sooner. I'm just
Right.
saying.
man.
I'm being honest with you.
Russia
Manifest
has,
destiny.
has
Manifest destiny.
Russia has or Putin has repeatedly stated Ukraine is not a real country. It's Russia.
Sounds like somebody who needs a reality check.
He wants
That's kinda
control
funny, though.
over the resources and strategic positioning.
These people live in their own fucking world. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like, they
Yeah.
don't actually see the world for what it is. They see the
Yeah.
world from their own little ivory tower, and it's different.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother world there. But I think one of the when bringing up tariffs, I think one of the biggest problems that I see, especially being a member of the East Coast, is Canada controls energy, most of the energy on the East Coast, and they keep threatening to levy it further. So if we don't watch out, y'all might see some more power outages over here on the East Coast.
And then Canada might become the next state
It will.
after that.
Canada will be the next state. They cut
I'm
off
just
our
saying,
energy
once-
down here, we're probably gonna go.
I mean, we're connected by a massive body of land. Like, there is no stopping that kind of war.
Mm-mm.
Like, if that happens, it would not be super great. But
And we've already showed them what we can do when they boo us. And they keep booing us, and we're gonna fuck them up.
that's fine.
Right hook, motherfucker, right hook.
That eagle gonna be flying over.
I don't think
Caw-caw,
going to war with
caw-caw.
Canada is going to be
That's
as
a
hard as
pigeon.
I mean, based off South Park, I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think. And cannabis is legal there, so half of their residents are just like, bruh,
I don't
just
wanna
lower our
fight.
fucking food costs.
Yeah,
We'll
they're
become the next
already
state.
they're already in a terrible place as it
Chicken
is.
wings were like,
And
they
I think
are insane.
I think the strategy behind it is to make them fold first, because technically Americans can, like, it's nowhere near what Canada pays right now, nowhere near, and we can, while I will say America can afford to go up a little bit, maybe not every citizen, but Canada can't afford that.
Yeah. So what I kind of despise is political shit. Like, I don't know the answer to this or the solution, but what I really despise is all these political things just fuck with regular people. Like, Canada, okay, they can't afford it, so raise their shit until they're all fucking struggling and what? Of course they're gonna want to fucking go to war and fight us. Like, it's insane. Like, it really is. We're just like hurt their people because we don't like your government leader. So hurt their people. They're going to hurt our people. And it's just like, what the fuck? We're
Yeah.
stuck in the middle of a bunch of big babies. We're all on this fucking planet
Who are like,
together.
"You
We
hit
really
me
got to get our
first."
shit together eventually. Because there's plenty of food to go around. There's plenty of people that are able to work. There's ways we can optimize tons of shit, but it all revolves around getting along. And no
Why
one
can't we
does.
all just get along?
And no one does. But the answer to
There's so
that
many
is, well, we
people that
don't
pissed
want
off at that guy.
war, which would involve soldiers hurting soldiers. So instead, we're going to do political backward shit to twist and manipulate people's pockets until they're hurting and can't take it anymore. And like, it's a different kind of warfare, but it's still fucking war.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it is. When you start hurting innocent people, at the end of the day, like, I just don't know the answer to it. Because, like,
Yeah.
no one wants to see war because they don't want to lose loved ones that go off to war and fight, and vice versa, right?
Right.
You know,
But this is the same fucking thing on a different scale. You're just going to have people who can't afford their rent anymore, can't afford to eat. What are those people going to do? They're going to rob people. They're
Yep.
going to take shit. They're going to fight back. They're not just going to lay down and
No,
die.
we're the
That's
human
not what people do.
species. We're bound to fight and survive.
Yep.
So if we get starved enough, then it's going to get to a tipping point. And it's just, it fucking
But
sucks.
it does suck. It does. But what can we do about it?
Nothing, because as much as this
Yes.
country is
What
for
we
the
can
people,
what we can do about it is we could have an uprising and Canada could be fucking inspired by it and have their own uprising and say fuck all these political people, they're garbage, they don't know how to communicate, all they want is their fucking way, and we need a better solution. And
Yeah.
that's the reality.
But
Like,
we have to make sure that we're still strong enough to not be attacked by another country, because let's not forget, they're still political out there. And we have to have a political system that is willing to fight back as well and protect us, even though they're not protecting us right now. Not very well anyway. Maybe certain things are there to protect us, at least my benefits help to protect me. I know I'm government funded, but that's okay. I'm not
just saying.
speaking for the government.
Yeah.
But somebody else would do it and take us over in a heartbeat without thinking twice. And then you want to talk about not being able to afford stuff, especially if somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere fucking invades us and they have a crazy ass dictator or ruler, we're fucked even more.
so in the
So
time being, I will
who
just
can
keep
invade us the
washing my
easiest?
aluminum foil.
No, I'm asking a question. It's a political question too, and geographical. Who can invade us the easiest? Our neighbors or people across the ocean? Our neighbors. Do we really want
it's
to just like
fucking
piss
Canada.
everyone off? Okay, but if China says we're going to war and Canada says, yeah, fuck the US, we're willing to help take them out, and Mexico does it too, we're fucked. We're getting attacked by every possible avenue, right? Like, that's not a state we want to be in. So to some degree, we got to play nice with our neighbors, even if they're frenemies, right? Like, it's a very sketchy place to be, but Russia doesn't like us. Russia would gladly fight us. The Chinese would gladly send their people to war if they knew they were going to come out
Well,
victorious.
North Korea keeps trying.
If we keep pissing off the whole world's going to be against us, and we don't fucking want that.
I agree.
Like,
I agree. But we still have a lot of allies, a lot of people that are still looking out for us. I'm not saying that they would be a big help,
I mean, India is
but
a
I
huge
am going to
ally.
say this. While China might have the biggest military, they ain't got the strongest.
I know. That's what keeps us safe.
But I will say I see you and what you're saying, because if a lot of countries decided they wanted to come at us, it doesn't matter how shitty their armies are or how shitty their navies are. If they have enough of them, they can do damage.
Numbers matter.
Yeah.
Yes, numbers do matter.
I think anyone who's ever been in a fight that was unfair would know numbers matter. Like, you might be able to beat the shit out of 2 or 3 of them, but if they got baseball bats and there's fucking 20 of them,
You're fucked.
you're
Yeah.
fucked. Like, I don't care how
Yep.
good of a fighter you are, you're going to get your ass kicked. Like,
That's
it's
true.
just not good.
And yeah, no, I can completely agree
But
with
what I'm
that.
saying
But there
is,
are
like,
so
we have
great
a massive
equalizers.
Quick question.
Yes, but other countries have similar things.
That's true.
Quick
That's
question.
And
true.
if we start pressing those buttons, no one wants to see that. No one.
No
Whose
one.
side is Sparta on?
Sparta was for themselves.
Yeah, I know, but like we need to get them on our team. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that ain't gonna happen.
That Spartan,
100
those Spartans
people
don't
could take
exist
out
anymore.
I wish
so
they
many.
did. Fucking crazy ass people.
Let's restart it.
They were also a people who would throw deformed babies to their death.
Minus that
That's
because
part.
they
true. Never
couldn't-
mind. Never mind.
I mean, I'm being honest with you. They believed in
forgot about
survival
that.
of the fittest down
Yeah.
to the very detail. And if you weren't capable of doing your duties as a soldier for Sparta, you were gone.
Yep.
Didn't matter.
I mean, you're not
Yep.
wrong.
You either died in the wilderness when you went out to like prove yourself as a man, whatever the different things were, I don't know. But they
Yeah.
had ways of weeding out the weak. And that's not shit that people agree with today.
No, I'm too faint of heart for that shit. Well, no,
But
right?
no,
It's cute.
I just think that Canada, as much as we make jokes and whatever, they really are our neighbors. And to
Yeah.
some degree, we need to learn to get along, whatever that may be. Mexico's also our neighbors. We need to get along. We all share the same fucking continent. So
I mean, facts.
let's get along, because at the end of the day, we got a crazy strong Navy. We have a crazy strong Army. We have a crazy strong Air Force.
Marines.
But when the Mexicans send tanks and airplanes and the Canadians do, and then the Japanese are like, well, fuck, we don't want to provide technology to the US anymore because everyone's turned on them. They will just start
Kamikaze
helping
pilots.
those people. No, Japan has stated numerous times they don't want war again.
Yeah, no, I know. It
But
was
they
just,
will, in a heartbeat, go, okay, we'll develop technology for the Chinese now because we don't want to go to war. And everybody said, fuck the US. So I have a feeling they would change sides just to avoid war because they don't
possibly.
like, I just don't think they want it anymore.
But I'm just saying, 2 World War champs.
We also had allies.
That's true.
And
We'll
in
have
a
some
lot of
allies.
instances, those allies did a lot of work on, like, as a whole, the
No
allied
doubt.
forces.
No doubt. No
So
doubt.
It takes TM work, so we need to
No doubt.
be a good TM crew.
it does take teamwork. And I think we just need to get better at something, because tariffs really
And-
just punish people. It's a different style of warfare, but in my opinion, it's warfare.
But one more thing to think about. We got a whole South that loves their guns, and they have
You're
a
not
lot
wrong.
of.
Americans, historically speaking, won't just lay down. We will
Mm-mm.
fight tooth and nail to the end. It doesn't matter
But I think
if it's an argument against one another. We do the same thing.
every
But if you want
human
to
is
see
like that.
Americans really band together, it will happen during a time like that.
obviously like there are sets of societies that are beat down and obliterated, but I do think that's more of a humanity feature, is to not back down, to not give up. We have a strong will to survive. That's what makes us what we are today.
Yeah.
Never give up.
But that's
Never
also
surrender.
the birth of the America we know today is a direct result of that very
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I
Absolutely.
just don't want to become those people to the rest of the world. Like I don't like Americans understand freedom, and I'm sorry, but when you start tariffing people and they can't afford fucking food anymore,
The cost
we
of
gotta fight it
houses
differently.
is gonna go up
Yeah.
Because
when
it's
wood
fucked
is
up.
tariffed.
Like, it's not fair to a random Canadian, just because their prime minister put a tariff on something. And so our result is to put it back. And now that hurts the Americans, that hurts the Canadians. No one fucking wins. It's a big crybaby battle
And
at the top.
you did this back. Well, now I gotta one up you.
But we
because-
avoided
think-
war.
I think what we ought to do is we ought to put our leaders in a bracket and have them go into the octagon,
epic
Rocket
rap
League.
battles of history.
and whoever fucking wins is the man.
Then we got to change our requirements for president.
Yep.
We need President Macho.
Yes.
We don't need President Trump. Trump is not going to do well in the
Gonna get
arena.
knocked the fuck out.
I don't know. I just don't think he's going to do well. Once his toupee flies away and he doesn't have the extra
Superpower.
assist, it's going to shift the tide of battle.
I know you saw his hair protected him from that bullet, didn't you?
Oh my fucking
You felt the
God.
breeze coming first.
So he turned real quick.
And then sported a
His toupee actually
Band-Aid.
shifted his body. I swear to God, it's a living creature. It might be.
He's cousin it. He just shaved his hair.
Maybe. Or it's just a different wig.
Can we
If aren't you
now? Can
pay?
we like at that moment? Can we pop up or this moment? Ba-ding! Trump, but like
Cousin It.
exaggerate the hair, yeah, and make him look
Put a
Cousin
like
It.
long hair on him. That'd be funny.
I can do some shit. Let me get at that.
I mean, I just got a picture of Cousin It. We could throw that up there.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna
it's
put
gotta be
Trump's face
Trump.
on a Cousin It.
No, it's got to be like you take a picture of Trump and then use Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever to exaggerate his actual toupee.
That's a lot of work.
Not really. Photoshop, you can just color the area and be like, I need a lot of hair. And it should pop it up.
Try it.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask
It's gonna turn out
ChatGPT.
really funny, but we'll give it a shot.
I'm gonna
We'll
ask
give it a shot.
ChatGPT to make it.
Okay, that's a better solution. That would probably work.
Oh man. Alrighty, I need to do this. So y'all thinking it's a good time to call it?
Yeah. I gotta go to a doctor's appointment in 30 minutes.
Is it like an online one, or you got to actually go in
I
office?
gotta go.
Fun times.
No, I gotta go to the fucking VA.
Don't put your hands in your mouth after you touch things. That's what we tell our children when we go to the doctor.
I don't
Giving you
fucking
words of
touch
wisdom.
things. I don't have to
Uh.
touch any doors when I go in there.
Have you ever seen the experiments they've done with like nasal drippage and how it spreads? And like
No. I don't
it's
want to know.
fascinating. No,
I
no,
don't
no.
wanna
It's
know.
so they
Ugh.
did this weird experiment where they put it was like a chemical. It wasn't actually somebody sick, but it was a chemical that simulated like a runny nose. They told the people, don't touch things, don't whatever. So the people at the beginning, they're like mindful, they're not touching stuff. And then after a little bit, they like like they touch their face, and then something else is different. And then this happens. By the end of it, the shit is like everywhere. Like even when they try not to spread it, it was everywhere. Like, and it was some science experiment. You could probably look it up on YouTube. I don't remember who did it,
Ew.
but it's gross. But we spread germs horribly. So just every time you can sanitize.
Yes, I
When you
will
touch a
now.
door
Thank
handle,
you.
that's touching something.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and so
That's why doctors' offices have the sanitary stations everywhere.
But
Because
see,
you really should use them
yeah,
everywhere.
and until I leave, that's the only time I touch something. Because I usually stand up. I usually don't touch the counters. I don't have to touch the doors going in because they're automatic.
Okay.
The nurse opens the door for me to walk back
But
and
if you
walk
have
into
to
the
use the
room.
restroom after you're in the room,
It's an automatic door.
cool. You don't have to push a button for a bathroom.
I can kick that bitch open.
Yeah, it's one of the buttons. Okay.
No,
So you can kick it.
no, you touch it and then it starts opening. Like you have to actually push it a little bit, and then
Oh,
it starts
okay.
drawing open, and then
It's one of
it'll
the
shut.
self whatever forgot what they're called. They're powered doors. Anyway, I'm
Mindful
just saying,
minute.
So the
just
notes,
walk around like a surgeon the
Right.
whole time you're there.
the
I know.
notes you're getting from the crew today is to please wash your hands no matter where you are and what you're doing. But also,
And don't
go ahead.
don't never not quit.
Don't ever not quit, because perseverance.
I think that was
is
correct. Don't
not.
never not.
Don't never not.
Yeah, so it's don't not quit essentially. Don't never not quit. Because don't is a negative. Never is a negative.
So that's positive.
And not is a negative.
So triple negative equals positive negative.
Hold on, what? Maybe
Triple
it's just
negative
don't
means
never quit.
positive and
Is that
negative.
what it is? Is it don't never quit?
Are y'all done breaking people's brains?
All right. It's either don't never quit, don't never not quit, or don't never not quit. It's one of those, and it's one of those is positive. It means never give up, never surrender, keep going in life,
Now,
persevere.
if you say don't ever quit, that's different than never quit. If you say don't never quit, then you're saying quit.
Okay, so then the first one I said was right. Don't never not quit.
Yeah, I said 3 negatives makes a positive and a
Persevere.
negative.
See, no, when you said it in the terms of batteries, I was getting confused. So,
I don't know. True.
or
Okay,
mathematics. I guess.
Okay, enough of the confusion. In the words of Walter Elliott, perseverance is not a long race. It is many short races, one after another. So don't never, not ever, never quit, you know. And that's where we're going to wrap it up today. See you every Friday. Just remember, it's more than cannabis and coffee. It's a mindset. Whether you see us or hear us, you're part of the crew, and we want to hear from you. So reach out via X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, which you can find all the links at cannabiscoffeecrew.com. See you later, Cosmic Beans.
Peace.